A word most Singapore property buyers eventually hear, usually with a wince: ABSD. Let's take the fear out of it with actual numbers and two real decisions it shapes. Additional buyer's stamp duty, a tax layered on top of the normal stamp duty, scaled to how many properties you already own and your residency status. It exists to cool speculative none and keep first homes genuinely accessible. Here's the official IRAS rate table. Singapore citizens pay nothing on the first home, 20% on the second, 30% on the third and beyond. Permanent residents pay 5% on the first home, 30% on the second, 35% on the third. Foreigners pay a flat 60% on any property. Companies and trusts pay 65% on a $1.2 million purchase, zero for a citizen's first home, $240,000 for a citizen's second, $360,000 for a PR second, and $720,000 for a foreign buyer. Same bricks, wildly different costs. By design. This isn't a punishment, it's policy designed so Singaporeans buying their first home are never outbid by pure speculative capital, local or foreign. It protects housing affordability at the entry level while allowing investment activity at a deliberate, calibrated cost. But ABSD isn't always payable upfront. If neither spouse in a married couple owns any property, their joint first purchase gets full ABSD remission, provided that one of the spouse is a Singaporean. Nationals of the US, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Norway, and Iceland are taxed at citizen rates under free trade agreements. None of this is automatic. You apply for it through IRAS's e-stamping portal. There's also a refund pass. If at least one spouse is a Singapore citizen, a couple can buy their second property before selling their first, as long as the first property sells within 6 months of the second purchase or its top or CSC date. The refund claim itself must also be filed within 6 months of that sale. IRAS grants no extensions on either deadline. Case Study 1. A married couple weighing a second property against the cost of joint ownership. They jointly own a $1.5 million condo. They found a $1.2 million second property they both love. Good fundamentals, strong rental demand. Bought jointly. That second purchase triggers 20% ABSD, a $240,000 cost on top of the purchase price itself. Their financing plan just got $240,000 more expensive. Same couple, same cash flow, same goal, but the ownership structure alone adds $250,000. There's a legal way to change this. We cover it fully next lesson. Weighing this decision, ABSD's strength is that it's transparent and predictable. The exact cost is knowable before you sign, so it's fully plannable, and it isn't necessarily fixed, since legal restructuring like decoupling can reduce or remove it, which we cover next lesson. The limitation, $240,000, is a large amount of their capital tied up in tax, reducing the couple's overall investment return, and that cash or CPF is locked into the tax bill instead of working as equity. The fix itself, decoupling, carries its own cost, legal risk, and regulatory uncertainty. Case Study 2. Someone on the path to Singapore residency, deciding whether to buy now or wait. A foreign professional 2 years from permanent residency has found a $1.5 million property they love. Buy now as a foreign buyer or rent for 2 more years and buy after their status changes. Buying now as a foreign buyer, 60% ABSD, $900,000 on top of the price. Waiting 2 years and buying under a citizen or PR tier could mean a dramatically smaller bill. 2 years of rent weighed against a 6-figure, sometimes 7-figure tax gap. Patience has a price tag here, and for once it's the impatience that costs more. Renting for a defined window isn't losing, it's buying time that's worth real money. And here too, both sides matter. The strength, waiting for status change, can save an enormous amount in tax, often the highest leverage decision in the whole purchase. And those savings compound with essentially zero market risk if timed well, since they're guaranteed by policy, not speculation. The limitation: property prices could rise faster than the ABSD saved during the wait, eroding or erasing the benefit. Renting during that window has a real unrecoverable cost, money spent building no equity, and residency approval timelines aren't fully within your control. So 2 years is an estimate, not a guarantee. Before any purchase fully costed, the buyer's stamp duty, and if it's not your first property, the ABSD that applies. This single number can make or break the maths on a second purchase. Rates and tiers change with policy. Always verify at iras.gov.sg before committing, and know your tier before you fall in love with a property. Next up, the decoupling strategy: how married couples can legally restructure ownership to avoid an unnecessary ABSD bill entirely. See you there.